So, it's your boy Immunization. Just want to start off this podcast with a quick shout out to our podcast besties and semi-proud more podcast, Thrall's Balls. They have, in their most recent episode, are interviewing Berserker from the Unshackled Fury podcast. Also, check him out. Yeah, just go give him a listen.
Check it out after this episode, not before it. Give us that listen, baby. But they are worth the listen just as much. Just your heroes to us first. I love you.
Tell you what, there's a distinct jumping off point at the 90% mark. Give me a pinky promise you're going to stay till then, and then go listen to this other great program.
Archers, attack! Keep firing! Let none escape! Another down! Do not relent!
Welcome back to another rousing episode of Another Pod, Do Not Relent. I'm Slide Whistle, your boat captain for this evening, and connoisseur of beer.
Well, 'tis I, Immunization, your skipper on this ride, and I would just like to say that this is not only a rousing episode of DNR, but a rather arousing episode as well.
It's me, the small child at the back, who's trying to touch the big spinning wheel that makes the boat go. Aaron, Fire Mage Extraordinaire and Horde Punching Bag.
Aaron, no!
I'll start screaming because you didn't let me hurt myself. Just Disney things.
That's a real thing that happened to Aaron.
Yeah, I lost my hands. That's why I can't play the Warcraft so good, is because I just got two hooks.
Isn't it true that you were the child that was smushed between the walls of the revolving This Is the
That
World? What's
was
it called?
not a child. That was in
It was
America
Aaron.
Sings, and it was a woman in 1976. She was leaning backwards to talk to her coworker, and yes, did get smushed between the rotunda parts of America Sings.
I mean, literally everything you said is yourself, so.
I mean, pretty much, yeah.
Aaron,
Fun fact,
Aaron's a method
everyone,
actor.
that is the only death that Disney will admit to, despite the fact that people die there like every week. They just take your body and hammer toss it into like slightly Buena Vista Ave, and they're like, oh, he died in Florida.
They melt you down into some ink, and you get a little cartoon made after you.
That'd be amazing. I can't wait to be put in Frozen Ever After, the straight-to-DVD Frozen film.
Dude, I wish I was in Planes.
Well, I wish I was in Cars 4.
You will be. Let's take a trip to Disney and you can sacrifice yourself.
Much like Sylvana sacrificed herself in Wrath of the Lich King. Hey, that thing's out, and we're going to play it, right?
We're totally... Well, the thing is, and I'm sure we've said this before, it's getting painfully close to something I might play, but then... Okay, so this is not even me being like, it has to stink, so it's different. Classic stinks. But, like, the closer we get to WoW Yum, there's a little apprehension of actually wanting to play it, because it's like, well, this is just now WoW Yum minus. Like, do you feel what I'm getting at? Like,
Oh, yeah,
I feel like
definitely.
there's WoW Yum, and there's Classic, which feels different, and the closer they get to Yum, the more I'm just like, well, I'll just play what we currently have.
I mean, and I will say part of me also kind of is interested because this is like the one that everyone's like, it's the best that WoW's ever been. And I'm like, okay, well, you guys just had a lot of time because you were in college then or something. But I am slightly tempted. Okay, I haven't really been following it because, like, as any listener of this podcast knows, we don't really care about WoW Classic. We don't cover it because we don't play it. Is it pre-patch now?
Yes.
I believe it's just out.
Yes.
Isn't it just out now?
No, I saw a thing that was like, happy pre-patch eve, everyone. Me and my 78-year-old husband, we're right back into the swing of things.
It says it arrives the 26th. I think it's out.
September
Oopsie
26th, like a
doodle.
month from now.
Oh, no, this is great. Okay, this is great. So what is this? So what can I do now?
Well, I believe you can begin leveling up to a certain point so that when that drops, and I think they're also doing in a few weeks, I think they're doing the thing where at the beginning of Wrath, they had like
The
that
Scourge
zombie
event?
Scourge apocalypse thing. I think they're doing that again.
Okay, wait. That sounds cool. Okay, so like this is my danger zone. Now, I like I said before on the podcast, I love the episode of South Park that this is based off of, and this was 2010. That was when this thing was out, was hitting. Well, that was the end of it, right? Because it went from 07 to 010. Is that what Lich King was?
Yeah, I want to say that South Park episode might have been like even early Kata.
Well, either way, I was looking at some screenshots of this game, and I was like, "This is like it's getting closer and closer to what I think of as like modern WoW." I think this has to be like the beginning of like a modern era of WoW, right? I feel like BC and Classic are like so separated from us, but again, it's hard to tell because we don't know what the Cataclysm fucked up for us. I guess, right?
Well, I think the way I look at it is that, like, obviously Classic, TBC are, like, ones that I think are, like, classic, and, like, I have very little interest in playing them. Wrath and Kata are a little bit more transitional, and I feel like in MOP is when it officially becomes WoW as, like, we knew it when we started playing, probably.
It's tough because, and this is such a shallow reason, but Wrath was when systems started getting down, like people knew what to do, but the aesthetics of it is just so Yuckenheimer, and to be left with that, like that's it, that's the best you can do, it's just like, oh. It was tough going at the beginning because vanilla was just vanilla. BC was like, we're going to put a huge purple octagon on your shoulder, have fun with that. And then Wrath of the Lich King was like brown straps. It's tough. It'd be tough to look at for so long.
Brown straps. But there's some areas that are like cool because this added a fuck ton of raids and dungeons. And when I say raids, obviously
too many raids and dungeons.
Well, let me say they added like a shit ton of them, but they were all in one location
and all one boss.
And, like, I know, like, because this seems to be almost everyone's favorite, I kind of want to try it out, but the kind of want to try it out, on the other hand, I don't want to spend 3 weeks leveling just so that I can experience, like, its content, if you know what I mean.
Well, lucky for you, if there's an alternative to having to spend 3 weeks leveling, you could simply pay $79.99. No, you could even pay $49.99 and get a level 70 character boost. And expert riding skill, appropriate gear, a mount, some gold, Pebble a penguin pet, Fish Speaker's lucky lure, a toy to summon your very own Tuskar fishing companion. All that for $50.
You know what? I just pulled up the listing here to talk about these things, but you went and you did it. For $50 whole, you get these abilities, Pebbles the Penguin, which, remember when Yob Yog just had that? And we were like, ooh.
Yeah, he just has it.
And then Tuskar Buddy, which that was the one I was going to ask about, because I was like, that's a whole man. Is that a pet? But I guess it's a friend that you magically pull through the ether.
It's like that one Pandaren toy that's just like a panda that like carries around a keg of beer for you. I'm like,
Or like the goblin ratio where you just call a gobber and they're just like, oh, here's the bank, boss. And that's it.
Indentured Servitude, coming to you in Wrath Classic.
Okay, so can you not use this boost until the Lich King drops? Because if I can use this boost now, isn't that max level in TBC? Isn't 70 max level?
Man, I have no idea.
Yes, that is correct. Going based on the old metrics.
I'm going to look up in between while you guys talk if I can do that.
So that would be really my only hope, because that's the thing is, if I really wanted to kick Margaret out of retirement and be like, Margaret, you're going on to Wrath, that would require getting him from level 13 to level 60, or level 70 rather, and that's scary. Sometimes that can be intimidating to do in WoW Yum, especially now.
Yo, no, you can use the boost. You can just use it. It says it gives you about a month to play a max level character before the Lich King drops. So that's actually pretty nice. If true, this is a shady looking website. Look at this, Immune. There's like some weird shade colors here. As I scroll down.
I don't know if I trust the source, but I don't know. If you get your news from this podcast, you probably shouldn't trust that source either.
When you said it was shady, I thought you meant like it was sketch, like the shading, the coloration of the website is strange.
No, dude, I think This is okay. Here we go. This is a massive relief to anyone who was planning to boost a character before Watalik's release. You can pick up some leveling gear from TBC raids or learn the class. You have a good month before going on your adventures in Northrend. Oh, that honestly, weirdly enough, may seem a little bit worth it to me because I can also do TBC stuff at max level, get yelled at for being like, you just bought your boost, didn't you? You didn't even play this. And I'd be like, yes. Now tell me how to play my class and show me how to win the dungeons.
And most of the people, you can just point your finger and be like, you bought your boost a year ago. And they're like, JQs.
Yeah. Are people there still, like, snooty about that shit?
I don't know. I mean, we're so far removed from the scene that probably not. I have to imagine that by this point, everyone's like, that was the beginning of the game. They left to go back to EverQuest years ago. Like, we're free of them.
Sometimes I get, not persnickety, but sometimes I raise a rock eyebrow at people who buy modern boosts, but that's not like you bought a boost. It's just like you paid some amount of money for like something that takes 4 days of effort. I feel bad. You didn't need to do that. You could have just given me your login. I love to level.
Oh, okay, well, if you're offering, I mean, I was going to say...
Yeah, wait.
Yeah.
Level my character.
I'll do it. I'm not good at max level stuff, but you know what I am good at? Mid-level mundane stuff.
It's a fuck. Like, my head moves so quick when Aaron levels. I'll look at it and I'll be like, okay, I see him right now in Sholzar Basin. He's level 30. I'll blink. Like, one episode of a show will end and you're like fucking like level 58. And I'm like, what could you possibly have done in that meantime to get that high of a level?
That's the thing is I don't even plan anything. I just sit there and chunk it out, and that's all I do.
It's chunky?
It's certainly not creamy, I can tell you that.
Okay, so wait. So all that was $50. Okay, so then for $80, there's an epic edition. So it's $30 more, right? You get 30 days of game time. Okay, now that equals out to, let's just say, $15.
Yeah, let's say so. Half the value is right there.
So this really costs $65 if we're being real. This package does.
Well, or an additional
no.
15 from the other one.
Yeah, I was like, no, it costs $80. It's just that 15 you were already willing to spend.
You're just upping your monthage. Okay, and then it does that thing where it's like, we're going to give you 2 mounts. We're going to give you one mount that looks ugly that goes in the old game. And we're going to take that mount, make it look prettier, and put it in the new game.
Yeah, that's the part that really got to me, that really made me smile, was it wasn't like, okay, we're going to give you a expansion specific mount for classic and then just a fun one. It's just like, no, we'll give you a mount and then we'll give you the same mount, but we have multiplied the fractals by 2 in WoW Yum. Which, by the way, it's a strange fish skiff thing. It's like a fish skeleton. I think it's supposed to be what the Tuskar float around on.
Yeah, I'm almost struggling to see the difference. I think I figured it out, though. I think the one on the left is the newer one. Yeah, there's one more lantern.
Yes,
it looks pretty cool.
Yes, the one on the left is the new one. But they really, because also, I don't think this thing ever existed in the old days.
Yeah.
So I think they made a cool mount, and then they really just did hit that with like the 480p quality switch.
Do you ride it like a Pandaren kite? I assume like like a surfboard from top. It has to be, right?
Mm-hmm.
Probably.
My first immediate thought goes to like Fortnite, and I'm like, oh man, you hang from the bottom and you like hang glide on it, and I'm like, no wait, no, they don't do that in this game.
Yo, speaking of Fortnite though, to make it like a tangent here, like I'm back in, baby. Like they got me. They fucking got me, girl, with this Dragon Ball crossover. You know, if I can play as fucking Bulma and hit the gritty, I'm gonna.
Will you guys be attending the MLK Remembrance Museum?
Yeah, I went last year.
Shooting Kamehamehas at each other?
No, they don't let you do that. I attended last year, and you know what? I'm not gonna lie. I was actually a little impressed, as much as I was sketched out by it, because I could see tons of just like random characters, but they all were forced to pay attention, or they wouldn't get their V-Bucks. So they're all watching. So I think
Did you have to like sit motionless while MLK did the Million Man March to get your V-Bucks?
It was one of those ones like the Ariana Grande concert where you kind of had to follow it.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so if you don't keep up with the track, then you won't get your thing. And they banned guns. They banned most emotes. They didn't ban some that they got in trouble for, and they fixed that later. But I honestly, it's as sad as it is, I think it's like one of the best ways to teach
I guess
schoolboys about this kind of stuff, and they'll actually pay attention. But it's kind of bad. You know what I mean?
this is a side tangent. A couple people pulled up on her TikTok. People would be like, "Oh my god, can you believe it?" with like 9/11 footage, and we were like, "Well, I guess that's kind of how you have to introduce it to the kids because they don't have empathy anymore. So like,
Right.
they have to treat it. You have to introduce them to it like it's like a fictional event."
Was there anything that like we did that when we were kids with? Like not like we were like, oh, the Titanic, but like that wasn't our parents. Like that was. That was
Well, no, I mean,
forever ago.
I watched and played like World War II games. So I'm like, yeah, get him! I'm gonna shoot him. And like that was deeply traumatic.
I guess the Challenger explosion would be the only one I could think of that I've heard some kids like make fun of in school, and I was like, that's weird. And I'm like, oh, that's pretty bad. Anyway,
Yeah, well,
back to the Lich
and,
King.
and before we go back to the Lich King, I just want to say the motherfucker who said the Kamiya Mama on Twitter was like, "LOL, I tricked you all. It was a joke." I just want to officially say on recording, I don't believe you, guy. I don't think you knew how to say it, and you said Kamiya Mama. Anyways, moving on.
I saw that. The Kamiya Mama, dude. If he was joking, he's rich now because not everyone's giving him clicks. But okay, Lich King. Okay, you know what? I think I'm gonna buy this. Am I surprised? No. Is anyone surprised? No.
Slide Whistle buying some additional content mainly for that in-game glider in WoW Yum. Am I surprised? Not at
Yeah.
all.
I'll see Wild Seed sitting on this thing, and I'll be like, "How's Benedict?" And he's like, "Who's Benedict?"
Hey, Benedict is my homie. Okay, but my only issue is, okay, now this is gonna sound very anti-classic. I just want to be able to do quests by myself. Or I want people, when I ask them to help me, to actually come help me. Because that I would have kept playing my TBC boost if I could have killed those goddamn zombie dogs on that farm. I tried for an hour and a half, and I couldn't do it. So I'm thinking maybe Lich King will either be more generous to either A, me killing things, or B, people helping me kill things. And then I can play.
I mean, we'll see.
Because I've always like Noxramas is the first thing I liked. Now obviously I would have done that in Classic and done that, but I think they're doing the re-release of it like they would have done in Lich King. I don't see why not. I don't know the timeline of anything. I don't pay attention to the Classic news, but the Hearthstone Noxramas pack got me into WoW. So like Noxramas is like my OG, which is so bizarre to fucking say, knowing the history of like all that now. But like the minute you give me Kel'Thuzad or a big robot flesh amalgamation person, I love that shit.
It's also just weird, even though we've said this several times before, that like we technically got into WoW because of Hearthstone.
Like, the first time I saw Gluth, which is like the big dog, I was like, oh fuck, that's Gluth! It took me forever to beat him. His deck was so hard in Hearthstone. No one can relate to that.
The first time I ever fought Maxena in Naxxramas as like an adult, I was like, my one ever legendary in Hearthstone. Here you are.
Like the OG poison venomous card, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So like in a weird way, playing Lich King would be nostalgic, but not in the way they intended. It'd be nostalgic because I played Hearthstone in 2014.
Exactly. I love all these classic characters that were featured in Hearthstone in junior year of college.
Featured in Hearthstone's first expansion pack.
No, please, not the goblins and gnomes. I missed out on that one. Just barely. Yeah, I'm buying this. I've convinced myself.
Okay. I'm willing to put some elbow grease into getting Margaret a little bit farther. Maybe changes made to Wrath will take effect and will be better. I don't know. I gotta get my white skinny ass out of Westfall. That shit, they be eating me up out there.
Listen, hear me out. I think we said this last time. Yes, I mean,
We always
nodding
do.
kind of yet. Let's try it. But if we try it together, maybe it won't be as bad because at least we'll have other people with us, and it's not just a fucking solo shit venture.
You know, that's the thing with this, is that, like, everyone who I know who plays Classic has a group of, like, 4 or 5 people that they all are like, hey, we're all getting on Classic now to level, and they all log on together, and I'm like, oh, that's cool, they have, like, a little community to do it, but I'm like, oh, actually, they all need to play together or they won't be able to level.
Exactly, they have to. There's nothing.
Their willpower will fail if even a single one of them logs off before the others.
They need cannon fodder to go in front of the gnolls and die so they can pick up the treasures before them. I maybe after we record, maybe we get our feet well. Amin hates this. He's
well,
not a
also we have a bonus ep, so we'll see how much Westfall nonsense we can truly get into.
I will say, it was kind of fun when we were first leveling in Classic originally. Me on, you said his name earlier, which was
Benedict.
His name? Benedict, right. Benedict the
Well,
priest.
you were also Noreen for a bit.
God, how do you remember that shit?
And then immunization was Randolph, and I was Margaret.
Damn, how do you do that?
Well, for Classic, it's pretty easy because you only have to remember like 5 names. I think I had 2 characters, you had 2 characters, Immune had 1. That was it.
I mean, if you guys really want to do this, I will do this, but I can't promise that I will have any fun at all.
I don't even think I can do it tonight because I took it off my computer. So convinced was I that I wanted to never go to Classic.
And it isn't just that, though. It's also the fact that, like, it's going to be leveling from the bottom. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
from whatever level it is.
Margaret is level 14. He has a lot of work to do
we
before
can't
he
just
beats
skip it.
Northrend.
And the thing is, at this point, if we're going to be like going into like Wrath Classic, I might as well just like actually create immunization as like a Draenei, right?
Oh, yeah, you'd be able to. Yeah, you have that option now to actually do what you wanted to do. Or, I have this. I will buy the boost. So I'm boosted. I can come back with you guys and overpower level things for you. And I can see and get transmog. No, you don't get transmog in Classic. Fuck.
When did they even fucking introduce transmog? Because I remember when we first started playing, we still had to like keep our old gear in the bank.
It was Legion. I think when Legion started, they were like, okay, everybody, if you've been hanging on to all your clothes, congrats. You don't have to do that once Legion hits. And I was like, I haven't been doing that. Was I supposed to be doing that?
I still miss my Nomergon silly spinny dial hat. I had it on Growlina and then I sold it and I lost out forever.
I remember I was so gutted when I accidentally sold my like cat lover's vest.
I forgot about that vest. Can you not restore those items still? Is there a limit on the restoration?
I found one again at some point, so I'm fine. But like, I don't know how far back restoration goes.
I was like, do you think they'd let me restore something from 2014?
I mean, I don't know how far it goes back. It might. It's an old system. Maybe you just hang on the old shit for no reason. Okay, wait. So real talk. If you did play Classic, because now you can make a Draenei Priest, would you feel more inclined to play it because you could now play as what you wanted to, or is it just like I don't know.
I feel like the answer is actually no, because I feel like I actually did make a Draenei Priest and I made it to like level 20 and then I gave up. So who really knows?
Oh, you did?
I think, or maybe 20 is too high. Maybe it's more like Margaret levels of like 13.
I was like, 20 is a pretty concerted effort. I feel like you'd remember if you made it there.
It's probably just barely over 10 then.
Bad news. I checked the item restoration table. The earliest thing I can restore on my paladin, who's my oldest character, is June 15th, 2022. So no dice.
Wow. 2 months.
On this day, I will pour one out for that long-lost cat lover's vest.
I have an unread ticket. What? Am I in trouble?
Or does that mean that you submitted a ticket that they just didn't give a shit about?
It was an item restoration ticket on my paladin, and it said it was unresolved. Okay, phew, it's been resolved. Don't worry, guys.
Oh, speaking of submitting tickets, this last weekend we raided with Dogs with Jobs as always. And then we cleared Castle Nathrion Heroic and then started trying Mythic. And we got down Shriekwing, Huntsman, Anerva. They all went down pretty easily. And then we struggled a little bit on Sun King, like Kel'Thas, and on our last pull of the night, we technically killed him, But what happened is he has a shield on Mythic where you need to burn it down or in time, or else it explodes and wipes the raid. And we didn't quite kill it in time, but so it exploded and all of us died. We had like a few priests in angel form and a few like night fae in their seeds, and then the dots from everyone and the bleeds and things actually ticked down and killed Kael'thas, and then the RP of like him of the shade of Kael'thas like being absorbed back into him ended as we all died, and the chest of loot appeared, but we didn't get an achievement for it, and we didn't get like credit in our vault, but in our raid info it said defeated, so we couldn't try to repull him.
Yeah, we both hit 0 life points at the same time on Duelist Island. Like it was crazy because like I saw it happen, and I'm pissed because it was my fault. I was in Group 2, and Group 2's whole deal was to break the second shield and hold cooldowns. Kael'thas had 4% health. And I'm like, yo, he's going to fucking croak any second. And someone said, okay, now, everybody hit it. And then I was like, oh, I berserked, I convoked, I potted, and I'm fucking him up. When I say go. And I'm like, what? And then he said, go. And then the shield went up after I popped my cooldowns, and I was like, oh god, we're gonna fucking die. And I said, it's my fault, we're gonna die. And I'm biting like as fast as I fucking can.
And what's funny, I feel like that's the only time ever in his life that Slide Whistle actively tried to follow a raid leader's call to pop his cooldowns at the given time.
He had 4% health. He was so fucking low. The shield is like it's like double his health. It's crazy. Like you have to crack it like so quickly. And so everybody was pissed. Everybody put in tickets and put in requests. And I'm sitting here like, they're not going to do anything. Like, I'm not going to tell them that because I'm not going to yuck their like, yeah, we killed them, yum. But it was kind of bullshit because that would have been our second mythic vault slot. That's huge. That could have so many more items in it.
And the thing is, like, I will stand by this. We did kill him. Like, he killed us, but we killed him. We got loot, or else I wouldn't consider it a kill, but we literally got loot.
If it was any other boss that didn't have that, like, 10 seconds of ending RP, we're like, the fire's over the chest, and if you're too close, it's gonna knock you back. If that wasn't there, we would have gotten all of our credit for it. But that little chunk being added fucked it all up. Which is weird, because why can't they just code it so the second that starts, you get the achievement? It's like Sylvanas. If Sylvanas does her little screech and she's like still going through the RP of jumping through the air, you don't get credit for that kill. She won for some reason.
Yeah, even though to get her to that point, like you get her to like the winning HP, but then like if you're on a raised platform, you will die before she's done with her RP, which is kind of bullshit.
It was pretty cool though. I'm not gonna lie. Both of us hitting 0 at the same time, it's pretty epic.
It's like when two wrestlers are running the ropes and they both hit each other with a crossbody.
And then it's like a 9-second count before they both get up. But also that it does suck knowing that was entirely my fault. I am the cooldown for that shield. I was the one to break it every time before that.
I'm sorry, everyone. I spent that last part looking up the One Piece is Real cock edit. I had heard a lot of information about it. Just wanted to confirm it was in fact real.
Is it real?
Yeah, the One Piece cock edit is real. He shouts it. The guy from Better Call Saul says it, and then you see a big penis.
Better Call Saul for cock pics.
When you see the One Piece
Aaron,
penis picture.
You have to study that because you said that you were going to sign up for the Mythics on Mondays, right? So you that should have been like, you're like, I'm ready to go, ready to roll with Sun King on Mythic.
Well, I'll make sure to listen to that during the editing process, because I didn't. I just tuned out, and I was like, I wasn't there. I don't know this story. One Piece is Real penis edit. What's going on with that?
What a crispy sentence that is.
The One Piece is real!
The One Piece is real!
You know what? I think I'm going to do a Ground the Proud. It's been a little bit since we heard from her. Go on. Get on in there. Welcome all. Come on in and sit down for this, another Growl on the Prowl. Today I'm chatting with Grelma. Grel, what is your issue with Dragonflight that you were just telling me about? I just don't get why we have to be dragon riders to get around. Why can't we just fly? So you mean on our flying mounts like before? You're upset that you have to use a pre-assigned dragon? No, I just want wings. Let me spread my big dragon wings and fly places. I don't want to have to call some big nerd lizard in just to go to and fro. I see. More akin to what evokers will be doing. Yeah, but they're ugly as fuck, and I want to do it on my elf. Well, I feel like I should step in and defend my animal guy cousins. I must admit that I too would love to soar on the wind with nothing but my own gumption. And they have enough wing models from Effects and Transmog. Just pull the trigger already, lol. You know, you're right. I hate dragon flying now. I want me flying. Let me have the fun. Let me ride the jet stream like a beautiful fairy. Hear our words and tremble, Big Blizz. Well, we're getting an official Change.org listing together. Here's the back nine of 194. And I'm back, everyone. I've switched drinks. My vodka soda has now become a margarita.
Oh, sheesh. We're back here, boys, at What is DNR Drinking Today? So, you said a margarita. What type of margarita?
It features actual tequila from a very old, very scary bottle that Cubby Bub's father gave us. It's his dad's dad. His tequila, and then there's just some standard Jose Cuervo margarita mix.
Is it frozen or on the rocks?
Oh, it's neither. It's in the fridge. I brought it out, and it's kind of cold.
Nice, nice. Today, in this household, we are playing the game of we did not go to the liquor store recently, and we are just throwing together whatever's in our cupboard with whatever's in our fridge.
Ooh, how very collegiate.
This means, hey, if this is also an after dark week where we're going to be drinking more of these drinks for our Patreon episodes and recordings. So if you want to hear more of that hot mess, tune into that.
Yeah, check that out at patreon.com/do not relent.
Okay, wait. So we've ultimately settled on a Chicago staple, RC Cola.
Yeah, because this place that we order pizza, well, it's a pizzeria, but we order like Italian like food from it. They always give us an RC Cola with our orders, and we don't really drink it any other time besides when we mix it with things. So I am mixing it with some rum that we have.
Or when Sweaty Gumbo's like, "You have any RC Cola?" And I'm like, "God, there's so much in the fridge. Please take a bottle."
The thing is, I remember visiting you one month, and there was like a partially opened RC Cola, and then I came back like 2 months later, and it was slightly more drank, but still in that position, and I was just like, I'm just going to assume that's a different RC Cola. They wouldn't keep it around for months at a time.
It was probably the same ones. So, like, I actually prefer flat soda, which I know most people are like, oh, flat soda. I like that I can drink it immediately. No bubbles attacking me. I'm attacking it. I'm the bubbles.
You're bubble vicious.
I am. But Sweaty Gumbo also will drink a flat soda if it's an RC. So it's probably the same one. I will say that they've all been cleared out recently. Surprisingly, we had an RC Cola day where everyone drank it and nobody brought any diets for their mixers. I was thinking about it also during Growl on the Prowl. Isn't Wrath the Lich King supposed to be when paladins were like super like good for the first time, or just like elite?
And when he said that when we were mixing our drinks, I was like, aren't paladins always good? Like, the thing is, like, the paladins are always like, oh, we're shit right now, but, like, they actually are still good. It's just that they complain. And I was like, oh, I think they complained because they were super overpowered in Wrath, and, like, they had, like, half a nerf since then, and then they're like, we aren't as good as we used to be.
I might just boost a paladin. If I can get my name, oh my god, I have to get that first.
I mean, isn't the real thing to make a Death Knight you're already there. You're like 2 levels away from max, and they were absolutely cranked at that time.
That is a thing. However, so you can't boost a Death Knight, and they start at level 55, 58, but max is 70. So that's a little more effort and time that I'm willing to put into the game to see maximal content alone, you know. We could all make Death Knights. We can make Alan, Theodore, and...
Walter.
Fuck, I should know that one more. What do I even know Theodore for? I never see him anymore.
Well, because Theodore was the one who stuck to his guns. Walter, eventually, I was like, I want him to be a fur guy, and then proceeded to not play him too much.
We had the 3 most boringest human Death Knights. That would, when they traveled together, it was amazing, though. It's like a pack of accountants attacking you.
You know, whenever I'm reminded that I have a human Death Knight on Proudmoore named Theodore, I feel like I need to start playing him again. I need to get him to max level.
I did see him on the roster the other day. I was looking through it from tops to bottoms, and I saw Theodore parentheses immunizational, and I was like, he's got a dude named Theodore? But it's all lining up now. Yes, that was your boring human Death Knight.
Let me tell you, I saw Azimuth online today, and I was like, what the fuck is Azimuth doing online?
Okay, so last night I may have promised Ahoy that I would try to get my Druid Garage in gear so that I could try tanking a dungeon every once in a while as Guardian Druid. But I was so frustrated with how fucking annoying it is to try to get Druid bars set up. Like, it's so awful. Like, why? So, like, in Bartender, like, this is probably the same in default UI, that, like, if you're, like, your bars 7 through 10, for some reason, just automatically become bar 1 whenever you change change forms. So, like, if you had something in there, so, like, when I would switch to Guardian, then, like, all of a sudden, because I used the wrong bar at some point during playing this Druid, like, my, like, 1 through 3 were, like, Hearthstones and then potions and stuff. I'm like, what the fuck is happening here? And I was, like, having such a hard time trying to figure out how to get this in order. I eventually did, but at some point, I rage quit. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to sign on to my Paladin, who already had, like, some prot stuff, but he's only, like, eye level 220 and doesn't even have a legendary.
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I think you should have stuck with Prop Paladin. It's not too late. Prop Paladin, I think, is just so much easier than Guardian Druid, only because the amount of damage you put out is astronomical, and putting out more damage means you have to actually tank less because they die faster. It's like a weird Guardian Druid. They can do damage, but you can get just like thrash. It's literally just you just press thrash and that's it.
Back in the day, I did tank a little bit as Guardian, like a few expansions ago. And yeah, that's what it was then. Thrash.
Why did you promise Ahoy that? Was he just like, I'm tired of tanking? I can tank?
I mean, you weren't on it this time. He did seem kind of, like, I kind of want to do something else.
We've been tanking for, like, every single group on our guild. I mean, like, we have tanks in our guild, but Ahoy's, like, one of our most, like, dependable ones. So, like, everybody wants to use him. We have groups that operate in splinter discords. Like always, like every expansion, they're in their own little group. And they are constantly like, Ahoy, come tank this thing for us. Come tank this thing for us. And he's like, I guess I will. Because he's a nice guy. He'll take anything. But I can see why he's getting burned out. So are you actually going to tank? Holy shit.
I'm thinking about it, and I've actually been working on trying survival a little bit too, and melee's awful. Like, I don't know how you guys do melee sometimes.
I hardly know. I have a Fury Warrior, and still every time I log out of her, I sit on the ground and cry. And I was like, oh, so tough. I had to move.
In particular, I did a 15 workshop with some guildies, and, you know, like, my damage is fine as survival, but, like, some of those bosses are so annoying. The last boss in workshop, like King Mechagon, that's so awful as melee.
I mean, I don't think it's that bad. What it depends on is where the rest of your group is standing. If they're all standing near you, it's awful.
Well, all the DPS were melee.
But see, now, I think this is more of a them problem than a you problem. you can spread out pretty far on that fight. Like, you have the entire area in front of him. It's about, like, Muzala sized. So like, you can, like, 1, 2, 3, like, in front of him, like, very spaced out. But you can also move back pretty far on him. So as long as everybody has, like, their own assigned spot to stand in, which I probably did not, it makes it easier. Because each person has an individual orb that basically targets them every single time. So that's why, like, when 3 of us die, Ahoy gets, the 5 orbs on him, back and forth, left, right, left, right.
But it basically made me feel like I should just stick to BM, or do survival on the dungeons that I know better. I don't know. And I also wasn't sure on the last boss how far back I could go and still hit the boss.
Yeah, it's a science. It's just unfortunate. You have to be like, okay, if I can stand here and hit, oh, I'm dead from the bombs or the beams or the suck in.
I just feel like melee's too much for me, too hard. I'm like, whatever. I'm not gonna do it.
Which is so funny because I have that same feeling whenever I'm playing my fucking warlock. I'm like, how the fuck does anyone do any damage? I have to constantly move through every single cast. It ruins everything I'm trying to do.
Casting? What is that?
Oh, right. You're not a
Wait.
real ranged. You're a fake
Yeah.
ranged.
Fuck you.
Fuck
Now
you.
I'm mad. We're no longer friends anymore.
Oh, that's why you were complaining, because you're a fucking hunter who has to do absolutely zero mechanics when you're playing a range class. Now I understand. You went from 0 mechanics to all the mechanics.
I still have to dodge things.
Yeah, but you can shoot while you dodge. You don't have to
Barely.
pick damage
You
or
leave
shoot.
a cat in
You can
there
do
for
both.
you. You bring a cat up, and it's like, wow. And it's like, oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Snuffles got hit by the mechanic, not me.
Yeah, get out of here. What are you talking about?
Damn, okay. Roasted on my own podcast.
But Hunter is the only class that can, like, move and shoot so consistently, right? Like, consistently.
Specifically BM, too,
BM
right?
hunter,
Because
yeah.
marksman has to sit its little butt down and focus sometimes.
Yeah, you just gotta cobra shot while you move your little panda butt left and right and let your pet do all the work for you. So yeah, whatever. Get out. Who cares? Boo! Boo!
Well, I'm gonna take this heat and then just say, keep this anger, guys, and just remember, Aaron, there are people who have swapped off of Worgans and betrayed you.
Oh, trust me,
The deflect.
theirs is a heat that simmers in. It drives me day after day, but they're good enough folks, so I understand. They're just changing. They're betraying their hearts because they want to get higher stat rotations, and that's fine.
And I said this to you, if I wasn't already a diversity hire as, like, I believe the only panda in our raid group, I would consider switching.
That is a great sentiment, but I know you would not. You would only hurt me
You know
again.
what, Aaron, I don't think he's kidding. I'm actually not kidding. He turned to me and said this to me, and I said, I'm sorry, what did you just say to me? You're going to be a Worgen for what? And he was like, because we don't have any, and Aaron's the only one. And I'm like, so? And he's like,
That is untrue. I will say, if only because I think he's too scared to level another character, Ash does stick with his Worgen man. I'll give him that.
The day when he race changes to a human will be, like, the day that, like, the raid group, like, froze over. I mean, not just because he's a Frosty K, but...
okay, so I'm trying to figure out what to play in Wrath of the Lich King.
Oh, what the fuck, guys? Like, this is literally the most
All right,
we've
all
ever
right.
talked about Classic on this podcast.
Hear me out. I'll save this for my top 2 bottom boot medium. How about that?
Okay, so in roughly 10 to 15 minutes, Slide Whistle will have his answer.
But I will say, I do believe Immune was 100% genuine, ride that pony, on being a Worgen. Because he was like, no. I said, you're already a panda. And he was like, no, I said if I wasn't already a diversity hire, I'd be a Worgen. And he said it so seriously. I was like, oh my god, he's not kidding. He's not joking. Remember, Aaron, his first character was a Worgen mage.
Buddy ALC, I'll always remember his OG. But
He drank
I will
for that.
say this. I don't know if the retaking of Gilneas will inspire, like, 6 extra people to turn into a wolf person, but maybe. I'm holding out hope. And also, I will say, outside of the context of the DN Army and Uno Mas, There are more of them out there. I don't know if I'm just looking for them more, but I do see a surprisingly high amount of wolf people for a game where they're considered, quote, yucky.
I think some WoW players are just Worgen players.
Yeah, and some are just Gilneas RP players.
You have to wonder, is there a Vol'dun Crater RP community? Is it just because Gilneas is a more established city than any other furry people place? Will there be a Drakthir RP community? I mean, I guess that's all we'll be doing for like the next 2 years here. But after that, will there be some people that never leave Valdrakken?
I was going to say, are you talking about the Scaly community?
I'm really interested in that WoW Classic human RP community. We all just walk around, talk about human things, do human quests.
I'm trying to think of people who I've known that are main Worgen players. It comes down to Aaron. It comes down to Ashenford.
I would still consider Kalis one, even though she did technically race change, but she still is always, literally always, like any given day, she is tweeting at some Warcraft person, begging them to give Worgen Tales.
I consider her an ally, and that includes the appreciation some days, culture stealing the other days. That's just what you have to deal with allyship.
No, I was going to agree. I was going to be like, she's an ally. Once you race change, you're no longer that thing. That's just how it goes. You gave it up.
So like, what about me where, like, Immunization the Priest used to be a panda, but I still have a panda. So I'm not exclusively the panda guy anymore, but my two mains are, one of them is still a panda.
Would you say your main is your main a panda? Answer that question fairly.
Well, as I've said in the past, I feel like I believe I currently have two mains, a priest and a hunter, but historically it is my priest, so I guess technically I am a Draenei main.
I would say you are a Draenei main. Your panda is your hunter's is a very close second, but it's still a second. Still a second.
But ironically, back in the day, like when I first started playing, like kind of seriously, like I was a panda main. Like my hunter was my first character at the same time, yeah.
Subsequently.
Wasn't it literally just him and our old raid lead, the Australian man, who wore that like lumberjack get up?
I honestly think about him a lot, and that's honestly why I had a lumberjack outfit going into the Seppi.
In honor of random New Zealand, Australia. Was he even? He was New Zealand, wasn't he? He was even Australian. Wasn't he mad that we called him Australian?
He was some sort of funny.
Oof. Yeah, he was something.
He came back. He's in our rating team now.
Vegemite! Dude, what if you took the reincarnation of him?
We've had a lot of fun new people join lately, though. We had, like, one person, Aaron, that, like, Vegemite was talking to in Zereth Mortis, and she was like, hey, do you like your guild? And he was like, yeah. And she's like, hey, are they, like, not homophobic or racist or anything? He's like, no, they aren't. They, like, joke around, like, with each other, but, like, it's not toxic or anything. And she's like, cool, I applied in Guild Finder. And then
okay, which is funny because so then I'm about to go to bed. I left Discord. I'm like closing up shop, and then I see the applicant roster light up on the guild panel because I'm in charge of that because I don't let anyone touch that shit. And I was like, whoa, what is this? I was gonna tell Immune, okay, I'm gonna go to bed. You guys are in a key. Add this person to the guild when your key is done. They seem legit. And then he turns to me and goes, somebody wants to join our guild. And I was like, are they named Vaterus, which is the name of the applicant? And he was like, yes. And I was like, how the fuck did you know about this before I knew about it? But then I learned now you whispered them.
Yeah, Vegemite was talking with her or something. I don't know.
We were in the same house and on totally different planes of existences.
We're literally a half foot away from each other most of our gaming.
That's too fucking close if you ask me. Wait, no. That's for my top two, bottom boot, medium boot. I haven't talked about classic again.
We gotta squeeze one more in here, and then we'll release you. You can talk about it all you want.
Have you spent your dinars yet? Or wait, how many dinars are you guys at ultimately?
I just achieved my second one last night, and no, I did not spend it.
I also got my second one on my hunter last night, and I haven't decided exactly what I am going to spend it on yet. I might let it simmer for a while. I might use it on a trinket. I'm not sure though. Oh my god, okay, I'm a little distracted here because Joe Dorno, just posted a meme in general chat on our Discord. Join our Discord at donotrelent.com. A hero's callboard meme.
Okay, do we have a hero's cardboard on deck? Like, I mean, people are asking for it.
You know what? I guess we do. I'll rummage around in the little trash can here because I did take 2 last week, and this one is this week's hero's callboard.
Heroes cardboard.
So
Heroes callboard.
So this one we do have a little. Every time I try and dodge it, and every time I fall for it.
I can't breathe right now. I think you get to talk now before I can get more dudes in.
What's funny is that you eventually will be able to do it just because we are so we're dead laughing at ourselves. We cannot breathe because we find ourselves so funny. So that's your opportunity to read it.
It's so stupid. It's so dumb.
So behind the scenes, sometimes I start to let you guys start going, and sometimes I start and you do it, and I feel like I walk into a fucking rake.
All right, go on.
Anyway, we have some experience in this one. How do I get my sibling into WoW? Rigatoni, the level 60 Zandalari Troll Warrior, asks, today my sibling started expressing interest in WoW, and they know I've always wanted them to play with me, but didn't really want to before for some reason. So how do I get them to play? And please don't say, don't get them into it. WoW sucks right now. Play Final Fantasy XIV. So, what is a surefire way to get someone into the World of Warcraft?
Play Hearthstone with them. Do the Noxeramis expansion pack, and then show them how cool Gluth looks.
I'll have a more serious answer, and I feel like in general, if somebody new is playing, you just need to be there with them and level with them, help them through all of the weird things, because from a new player's perspective, there are a million things that we don't even bat an eye at anymore that we just do without even thinking about, that they just need a little bit of help along the way.
That's honestly the best advice, but the hardest part is letting that person know that they can always come to you with questions and you can give advice, but you also have to kind of be ready 24/7 to answer any questions.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to get my online friend of 12 years into this game, and he played for so long during BFA. He was in the guild, he was leveling, I helped him out as much as I could, and then he hit one dungeon quest. He hit one dungeon quest that he could not do alone, and it required him to do Shrine of the Storms. And at the time, me and Shrine of the Storms were feuding the dungeon in BFA, and he said, hey, can you help me do this dungeon? And I said, listen, I'm sorry. I can't go in there right now. I just had a bad experience with it, and I wasn't even thinking when I said that. And he never played the game again. That was it. That's when he stopped.
Wait, is this Bill or Hacky?
It's Bill.
I was gonna say, because Hacky's back now.
Hacky left because Hacky thought I was actually mad at him in Legion when we cleared Karazhan for the first time with tears in our eyes. And I was like, wow, Hacky, you got that trinket that I wanted. I can't believe it. And he thought I was actually mad at him and took it to heart, which shows what a good guy Hacky is, that he was hurt by nothing, right? It was malicious.
Which is also wild because you hung out on his Twitch stream as he played as Girladin in pre-Shadowlands, so he was sitting there I can't believe Slide Whistle is still upset with me as he's watching me jump around on Girladin.
That's real. But the thing is, me and Hacky existed in circles for a long time, but never that close. So he didn't know how to take my words, not knowing I was completely sarcastically joking. I only learned about that 6 months after he quit, when Nintendo 300, my other friend, told me, hey, so Hacky told me that you were really mad at him for getting that loot in the game. And I was like, oh, and I said, do you mean the shielding trinket? I was kidding. And then I said, Hacky, do you think I was really mad at you? Immediately, I confronted him, and he was like, no. And I'm like, I wasn't mad. It was a joke.
I mean, also to be fair, there are a lot of emotions during that run. Like that was a dark time in a lot of our books.
Amen.
But I gotta say, yes, be there for your friends, play with them, be patient, but also the ultimate kicker is do take them through Westfall and take them through the Ballad of Two Shoe Lou. That used to be the quest chain that we would always say to new people, just follow us, we're gonna do some stuff, you gotta see my man Lou.
You just have to make sure your friend is paying attention, because if they leave the computer for a second, you lost.
Bubble Tiger fucking, he was so into it, looked away during Two Shoe Lou. Lou was assassinated and he came back, he's like, what's going on? And I knew we'd lost him.
Also, he was playing on a literal potato, and he probably looked away because like his computer was just bricked up and unable to do anything in that moment.
It was bricked up? Hell yeah.
The best Warcraft Bubble Tiger ever played was when he and I went into a PvP area. We played in first person, and he's like, I'll be the eyes, you be the feet. And we did that, and we were awful.
I think my favorite one is, I was there for his first dungeon in the Dead Mines. The pirate ship and the parrots completely blew this man away. And I was like, really? The parrot goes, dude, these parrots are so cool. They keep attacking my eyes. And I'm like, that's not cool. You have to kill them. I can't kill a bird.
Wait, was he playing in first person? Is that why he felt like they were attacking his eyes?
He probably was, because it was him, I think Aaron, Cold as Bryce was there.
We were all dwarf women except for Cold as Bryce, who was a Pandaren woman. I still have the picture in the old Facebook chat.
That's some great shit. We need to get him to play again. He has a better computer now, so he could.
He could, yeah.
He's dead to me. He didn't show up to the wedding. Even though he had a very valid excuse, he's dead to me.
I legitimately think he had like a cousin's wedding that same weekend.
Yes, he did send me a message. He had a family member's wedding.
Oh, he said it afterwards?
I hold no ill will.
Did he send any money?
Tiger. No.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a talk for me and him later.
The Wyoming wind took it.
Okay, well, we'll see how long that lasts. Hey, did you get out my hand towels?
Fun fact about your hand towels, they're in West Virginia, and we need to plan a trip to go there. Wait, no,
Caitlin's
I'm sorry.
mom's gonna use my hand towels?
I'm sorry, I fucked up. We do have your hand towels, and I think we have your cooking sheet. We do not have the blender.
No! What do you mean?
Excuse me,
We're planning
Aaron?
a trip down there.
Excuse me, it's a juicer.
Come on.
I'm so sorry. It's a juicer. Juice something, you filthy animals, or whatever the message said. But yes, we don't have everything yet, because some things showed up posthumously, but we will have it soon.
I should have said juice something, you filthy danimals. Like the yogurt. Fuck. Can you rewrite it for me?
I will.
Okay, cool. And now it's time for our top two Mada Moot, Madia Mooch. I will go first. Okay, so I've been trying to figure out what I'm going to boost in Wrath of the Lich King Classic.
This is the promised land here. Does that mean it's a Madia Moot?
It is actually no. I think it's actually surprisingly. Bear with me. A top toot asterisk. Okay, a Barry Bonds asterisk. This could easily become a medium moot in the future. What's up?
Quick, Tajirla, where do we categorize this?
Oh, I forgot. No,
she is the keeper of the tomes.
I forgot.
The one Madia Moot.
Don't make me think about the Excel spreadsheet. Okay, let me explain my thinking here. So I am on WarcraftTavern.com. Supposedly, it's a top-of-the-line classic WoW website. Is that true? I have no idea. They have the entire Wrath of the Lich King tier list / DPS rankings based across the 4 phases that this game will be released across.
Okay, my first thought here is this based on what they thought back in the day? Because I feel like people have a way better understanding of the game and those encounters now than they did then.
I have no idea what it's based off of. I can only assume it's based off of the beta and how the game used to play, because very little changes to this kind of thing are being made. You know what I mean? If anything, they're being made to bring up classes that were stinky before. I'm currently between a Feral Druid and a Retribution Paladin, right? Feral Druid is what I currently identify as, and I can't play Demon Hunter, so therefore I'm going to lump that into Feral Druid. Paladin is what I first played seriously in this game, and whenever I play my Paladin, I am just like, this is so fucking fun. I'm a warrior of the light. No one can tell me that I'm wrong because I'm righteous. Like, it's amazing.
Yeah, it probably feels like a homecoming. Also, as a quick side tangent, did you guys see, I don't think we mentioned this in the past, that like they're giving paladins a B-res potentially in Dragonflight.
I forgot about that. That's humongous. That's huge, because
That's wild.
I would play my paladin so much more if I could be like more used to people. Look at B-res.
Literally the number of times that like Slidewhistle was like in between deciding to take his Feral Druid or his Ret Paladin to a dungeon, but he said, I'll stay on my Feral Druid because the comp that we will be having does not have a B-res. So, like, that no longer would be a problem in Dragonflight.
Be all paladin, which is scary to think about, but it's my first love. Anyway, back to the phases. I'm so sorry to make this long. In A tier, there's S, A, B, C, and D. No Fs. In A tier, no. Fuck. In B tier, in phase 1, is Ret Paladin and Feral Druid, side by side. Okay, whatever. In phase 2, Feral Druid is S tier and Ret Paladin is B tier. In phase 3, Ret Paladin and Feral Druid are A tier. And in phase 4, Ret Paladin and Feral Druid are S tier. I can't lose. I can't lose.
I mean, technically, I feel like if you average those together, if you're just looking at the tiers, Feral Druid is ahead because they had the one time when they were ahead, right?
So yeah, because they were in S and Ret was in B. Because if I'm going to play this game, I want to play the best thing so people bring me thinking I'm good at the game, even though I'm not. Because community perception is A, toxic, and B, will get you far in a video game.
I could say a lot about community perception in fucking World of Warcraft, but I will bite my tongue for now because, yeah, we're in your TTBB.
Please respect the boundaries. I can talk about whatever I want for as long as I want to until I pass it off, right? This could be a 2-hour episode. Who knows?
I mean, you've literally been planning this particular conversation for at least half of the episode.
But I had the problem of my Ret Paladin, to me, is more nostalgic than my Feral Druid. But my Feral Druid is more familiarity.
I also just like him more. I'm so sorry. I just like him more.
You just like my Paladin more?
Yeah, I like your Paladin more.
How could you not? You've known him longer than my Druid.
And he's, I hate to say, he's more funny looking.
Okay, wow. You want to talk about funny looking, you Worgen ass motherfucker.
Okay, so now we're no longer I'm saying compared to an elf.
Well, it's just funny. Like, you're like the number one elf hater.
Wait.
I am. I'm the number one. Yeah, I'm the number one elf hater. So of course I would opt for you to go hang out with a little short guy, a little funny man. Also, I know he got his skin dyed and his hair's on fire now, but I just want to see him lounge on top of a tornado again. I wanted to give him that chance.
Remember when Bludgeon was a regular female dwarf? She was 3%,
for like
3% of the population of female dwarves.
Remember when she lost all your money?
Yeah, I fucking remember. This is a side. Smarf, you're in our Discord. You added me on BNet. Okay. I thought that you were a Reddit recruit because I post a lot on like Reddit and the forums. And so I was like, hey, Smarf, you added me a couple of days ago. I thought you were a recruit. And I was like, do you need a guild or anything? And then you didn't respond, and then I went offline. And so I removed you as a friend because I remove all people in Group Finder for guilds from my friends list if they don't respond to me. You are not in that list. So please send me a friend request and I'll add you back. That was a mistaken removal on my part.
Yeah, and I think Sidewhistle is sorry.
I said I was sorry, didn't I? I am very sorry. Because I was like, all right, yeah, this guy named Smarf, I removed him. And then I was like, oh God, I know this guy. Fuck. Aaron, how about you? What's your TTBBMM?
Well, I'd love to go, but mine will be a little bit controversial, and I don't want anyone to click off before my friend immunization goes. So
What the fuck does that mean?
What is your
Oh my God,
TTBBMM?
I'm scared now.
Aaron, you fucking go second. Like, you know that people have already clicked off before this whole segment anyways.
No,
Hey,
because
hey.
they'll really, we have a statistic reason to know they'll click off, and I don't want to deny you your chance, so please, Immune, do go.
Okay, fine. Well, I will go second then, and I will say that I have I think overall, I'll consider it a medium moot. And my medium moot is that, like, I've been, like, bouncing back and forth between, like, survival and BM, depending on what I feel like on my hunter right now. And I felt like I was getting the hang of it, but then that workshop really, really discouraged me. It made me feel like I don't want to play survival anymore just because it felt like so hard and I wasn't used to it. And I know I just need to get more used to the dungeons, so maybe I'll get there again, but maybe for now I'll just play survival on the dungeons that I know better. And I know that I don't know workshop that well right now, so that's probably part of it.
I also do not blame yourself for that workshop. Everybody was at fault there. Well, not me. I played that pretty well, but other people.
Weren't there.
Oh, I thought it was the workshop when we went over 10 minutes.
No, this was last night when I was with Vegemite and Pablo and Ahoy and Myth.
Well, it's probably the same story. The same people fucked the same things up in the last time I was in a workshop. So it's if anything, keep them getting workshops so they get the motions through.
Yeah, it just felt really hard as melee, and I was like, I don't know if I want to deal with that anymore. So we'll see as this pans out. Also, I haven't gotten a fucking spear. Also, side whistle, you didn't even mention that you fucking got your spear.
That's for next week. There's so much to get worked up about, what I'm gonna play in Wrath Lich King Classic.
Okay, fuck you. Okay, Aaron, take it away with whatever supposedly will end this podcast forever with its heat.
Well, I do have a medium moot this week.
Medium mount.
The absolute bottom boot is that, yes, today is in fact famed Vocaloid Hatsune Miku's birthday, and there exists a mere 4.5 hours for me to celebrate. I feel like a fucking chud. I didn't know all day. I wouldn't have even gone into work if I had known that it was, in fact, Miss Miku's birthday. Happy 15th birthday.
I know how you can atone for your sins.
How?
Play Fall Guys as Hatsune Miku, the newest skin to brace the Fall Guys shop this week.
Well, you know what? I don't know if I can do that, but I will just be quietly playing her in the background of the rest of the episode. I swear to you, it'll be real quiet. You really have to turn the speakers up. But Miss Miku is going ham behind my words right now.
Aaron, if you do that, this will be our least listened to episode ever. Statistically, you know that this is true.
We have the math. We have the numbers to say this is not a good idea.
But Miss Miku deserves her 15th birthday, and I gotta give her something.
At least by this point, this is the
fine.
longest in a while, so they're already gone.
Fine, everyone. Here's 7.5 seconds of a Miku song I really like. And there it was.
Is that better or worse?
Happy
Let
birthday.
us know. Let us know at donotrelenttpod@gmail.com.
If anything, I think it's better because it's at the end of the episode as opposed to in the first 5 seconds of the episode.
Hey, how about them lovely patrons?
You read my mind. We are supported by our $5 a month patrons, which include commands. Well, actually, you know what? These are actually the $3 a month patrons, although all of them do pony up more. So thanks. But they include Command Sergeant Major Tijurla, fourth host of the podcast, Jumonkey. Ahoy Vince, a.k.a. Nathanos, killed himself to see Sylvanas, and she won't even pick up the phone. Instinct/Drag Race. Azarin. Mitch, who wants the pod to know that the hunters of Unomas are burly boys.
Hell yeah.
Crucifix. Cardicay. Saracen Hawk. Joe DiGiorno Dorno. Gershom, the Grill Master. Tss. Hoax. Asking Growlina to say, for the Horde. Vanderlyle. And Will, a.k.a. Tyre. Trade Chat's fallen father.
And with that, we're out of here. If you want to join these patrons, I already said it earlier. Actually, Immune said it earlier, but you can join our Discord, our Patreon at patreon.com/do-not-relent. Send us an email at do-not-relentpod@gmail.com or navarracoffin@gmail.com. You figure out the spelling. I think I've settled on Barrel Druid for now. What about you guys? Where can we find you on the internet?
Well, first off, I want to say I didn't realize that we had fucking have a honkometer for your classic character, but here we are. But you can find me, Alex or Immunization, on Twitter at New Era Alex. You can follow our podcast Instagram account on the gram at Do Not Relent.
You can find me, Aaron the Human, at the Big Cheesy on Twitter.com. You can follow the show's literary musings at DoNotRelent.livejournal.com. And you can watch me on Twitch at twitch.tv/AaronDNR. I'll be playing more games soon. I'm just writing wedding thank yous and my hand hurts. I can't play videograms.
Do wedding thank yous only go out to those that signed your book?
No.
Thank
'Cause I
God.
know you may have not. It's to everyone that I want to thank. To everyone other than my mommy and my daddy.
You don't want to thank your parents for bringing you into this world to have a nice marriage?
I didn't ask to be born.
Hey, that's the energy we need on this podcast, baby!
I didn't ask for any of this life.
Tell me about it. Alright, we'll see you guys later. Oh, next week. And remember,
Another down. Do not relent.
Do Not Relent is a podcast within the 3HNC network, representing U.S. Proudmoore's premier podcasts.
That was a very good wish.
ooh, how did we made nothing into something.